And now, broadcasting from the top of the skyscraper that is the Markham Hall on the Rogers State University campus in Claremore, it's Green Country's most exciting radio show, Free Association. And now, here is the Fort Smith Fireball, your champion of chicken, and your deluxe dueling DJ, Mark Lane.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. True alternative music is the way to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. This is Mark Lane. Thanks for that introduction, KO, and welcome to another edition of Free Association. On today's show, we'll be talking about the headlines. We'll see what's going on in the world. We'll stay informed that way. We'll have a Mark Lane Versus, and, we'll listen to the musings and the expostulations of yours truly, Mark Lane. But the one thing I definitely want to listen to is a request from you, and you can call me at 918-343-7913. And while you're making that decision, here's Arctic Monkeys with Pretty Visitors. Alright, that was Just Jack with The Day That I Died, and he tried to make it sound like a good thing. Well, maybe that it is. I mean, let's think about it. How many dead people do you know have come back to complain about it? So it can't be all that bad. Unless, of course, you talk to some of the ghosts in the basement here at the skyscraper that is Markham Hall. I guess there must be some complaint about it. They're trying to come back from the next world. And so for that, you need to turn the lights on, which is what Project Huckleberry's last song was, Turn the Lights On. And that's all right here on Free Association. And you could go another step further. You could say Huckleberry. That sounds like something Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday character would say. You remember that one out of Tombstone? I'm your Huckleberry. And if you call in at 918-343-7913 and give me a request, you'll be a daisy if you do. All right, well, let's see what's going on in the world today. As we know, Obama is going to have another press conference, a presidential address tonight. I guess he wants to get in his Week 1 picks for the NFL action this week. That's why he's doing it this Wednesday night. Can you imagine that if he did have the presidential address tomorrow when the Titans face the Steelers in to kick off the season? Oh, good grief. Then before that, there was nothing really before that. We have to go forward in the headlines. See what else is going on. That John Gosselin guy from John and Kate Plus 8 says that he loves his new girlfriend more. I looked at the article on CNN.com. I couldn't find any pictures, so I don't know if I can agree with him or not. Then what else do we got? And as you well know, today is 9/9/09. And it's also the 252nd day of the year, 252. See, so the numerologists are going crazy right now. And then this just out, the remastered Beatles are ear candy. Well, I don't know too much about the Beatles. It's from my upbringing. My parents, they're like, what are the Beatles? What do you need them for? They're horrible. Don't listen to those hippies. So people talk about the Beatles. They've been talking about them my whole life. I don't know what they're talking about, But that's the kind of family that I'm from. My own grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she thought the falsetto that came out like during the rock and roll eras of the late 50s, early 60s, she thought that was a little bit too risque. So I'm sure that if she could listen over the internet on rsu.edu to 91.3, she might think that the Hillcat Sock Hop might be a little bit too risque. It's not, folks. Don't worry about it. Because if you really do enjoy the oldies, Hillcat Sock Hop is definitely your destination. And Gary Rothkar will spin a few records for you and play you some requests and take you back to those special memories of the 1950s. The malt shop, the leather jackets, the poodle skirts, the fins on a 1957 Chevy, and all that. And you can hear that on the Hillcat Sock Hop from 1 to 3 every Saturday afternoon on 91.3 FM. And after the break, we have Leopold and his fiction with Go On, Have My Way, a request. And you can have your way too at 918-343-7913. It's Free Association. All right, that was Wolf Mother with New Moon Rising right here on Free Association, and we've had 2 requests so far. We've had the Avett Brothers with St. Joseph's, then we had Leopold in his fiction with Go On Have My Way. I mean, let me tell you a story about that, about the Avett Brothers, though. So I got a call from from a listener saying, "Oh, I want to listen to Avett Brothers," and so I said, "All right, we'll put it in there." So as I'm looking for the song, I go and I talk to the music director, Tip. I'm like, "Where's? I don't see the Avett Brothers." And he said, "Yeah, it's playing right now." So there you go. That was an instant request. See, we make our logs in such great detail that we can predict your requests before you actually call them up. But still, call us at 918-343-7913 if we didn't predict them right, okay? So, all right, coming up next we have Wycliffe Jean and Paul Williams, I think, with Fast Car right here on Free Association.
Hey, 7 days a week. This is 91.3 FM.
Correction. Paul Simon. Wycliffe Jean and Paul Simon. All right, that was Grizzly Bear with Ready Able right here on Free Association. Before that, we had Wilco with Sunny Feeling. And before that, we had Wycliffe Jean and Paul Simon with Fast Car, all right here on Free Association. And again, if there's a song that you want to hear, 918-343-7913 is the request line. Or if, you don't want to use the phone, the minutes are almost up on the phone, on the prepaid cell phone for the month, then you can send us an email at requestline@rsu.edu. And if you were friends with us on Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter, you wouldn't have to send an email at all. That is so déclassé, to be sending emails. Who does that anymore? Okay. Anyway, let's see, what do we got going on? All right. They want me to talk about entertainment with Nikki. Well, I think I do enough of that. To listen to that show on Fridays at 2 now on 91.3 FM, but you can listen to that every week. What you can't do is see the RSU original recipe plays, because those are an annual sort of thing. You see how that works out? That's right. The RSU original recipe plays, we got Unrequited to the Nth Degree. We have Order and Chaos, Gemstones, and Beowulf Redo. I strongly suggest you go to that one. They'll be performing at the Will Rogers Auditorium Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights at 7:07. And if you want a Sunday showing and miss football, then you can go. Then you can go to the Sunday showing at 2:07 again at the Will Rogers Auditorium. All right, there it is, and here it is. After the break, we'll have a Turbo with a concert calendar, eulogies with Day to Day, and a request if you guys want it at 918-343-7913.
It's 24 hour true.